Welcome to Martin Deeson Unloaded, sponsored by On Beer, the only alcohol-free beer that is scientifically proven to give you a massive buzz. Today's guest is not someone you would normally associate with alcohol-free beer. I don't know what his position is now, but back in the day, he was renowned for being associated with probably a bucket of booze and a big helping of raw sex. It is the author, comedian, writer, jazz musician, friend of the stars, reality TV star, and keen caravaner. It's Rowland Rivron.
Hello.
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 How are you, Rowland?
I'm all right, actually. Although, having said that, I've got a bit of sinus.
Oh.
I've got sinus on the right-hand side of my face. It's affecting the ear, the eye, and whenever I cough, it's a splitting headache. But apart from that, gorgeous.
Oh, that's very specific. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, we've already discussed my ankle.
Yes.
And I've got a bit of a cough today as well.
Have
so
you?
if I start spluttering.
Right.
I'm sorry. This very
I'd fear to try and calculate our combined ages on the health front.
God, it would be on the numerical front alone.
Yes.
It's well over a century, isn't it? God.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Because we haven't seen each other, in my memory, for decades, really.
Probably 30 years?
Probably 30 years. Probably the last time would be in some disreputable drinking club.
Yeah.
But we did work together once in 1994 in Dalston Cross Shopping Centre.
Ah.
If you remember that.
Was
do
it
you
94?
Remember that? It was I had to look it up. It was December 94. Do you remember that?
I do remember. It was a front cover.
It was the front cover of Loaded magazine.
Yes.
Christmas is cancelled.
Yes.
And you had blood pouring down your nose.
Yeah, a tequila T-shirt, two policemen.
Two policemen arresting you.
Dishevelled Santa Claus costume.
That's the key bit, isn't it?
Yes. That puts it in, that puts it in the right time of the year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was brilliant. That was an amazing thing, wasn't it? Because this is a good 10 years before Billy Bob Thornton did a film called Bad Santa. Which they basically ripped off that feature.
They must have.
Yeah. I mean, what was? Tell people what the feature was.
What the premise was? I'll tell you how it came about. I was talking with James Brown at Bob Mortimer's. Was it Bob's or was it? Who's the other one?
Vic.
That
one, your old friend.
Jim Moyers.
Jim,
it? I think it was Jim's birthday or something like that. And we got locked in his wine cellar. It was a little door that we went through and it clicked shut. So we started drinking and then we hatched this idea, which was that I'd play a Christmas Santa Claus that every shopping precinct has.
Yeah.
And I'd turn up and I'd set up and we had quite a big thing. We had a manger and also we had a donkey, a live donkey. A live donkey. So we set up, all looked good. This sort of slightly shell-shocked woman who was the organizer of such events in the Dalston shopping precinct, she looked a bit shell-shocked when we all turned up, but she sort of ran with it. And we set up and it was all going swimmingly. And then I said, I'm just going to pop off for lunch. That took about 2 hours and I drank about 18 pints of Guinness.
You did.
And I came back. And I mean, I wasn't genuinely pissed, but it came. I might have been a bit of method acting.
I'll do my memory in a second.
And of course, I was completely off my face, abusing the donkey. Kids were crying. This woman was just completely having a mental, nervous, hot flush breakdown. The police, the so-called police, were called. One child shouted. They've arrested Santa.
No, sorry to correct you. Mummy, they've killed Father Christmas.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, with the blood and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So, and it was all, photographed for, I think, a sort of a 28-page feature in the Loaded magazine that Christmas.
It was huge. My memory is the same as yours. And I read it again a couple of days ago just to remind myself. And it's exactly as you said. It was genuine. I still feel guilty.
I feel so sorry for that woman
because
she was just like, my life's ended.
Yeah. Well, Michael from The Office had convinced them that Rowland Rivron, the children's TV presenter, could be your Santa for the afternoon takeover from your regular Santa.
Well, I had appeared for about 2 years as Alf the pizza chef in Cat's Eyes, which was a kids 4 to 8 year old educational TV show that used to go out in the afternoon. People, do you remember when the kids file into the hall and there's a television that's far too high on a big stand
yeah.
and oversized, and they used to watch it, and it was an educational thing. And there was these two cats that used to talk to each other. I was Alf the pizza chef. There was various things going on, people singing, it was all numeracy and all that. It was...
I had no idea there was a real kids show. I thought,
yes.
Which makes it somehow worse because there weren't. Because one of my abiding memories, apart from the kid crying, it was a little like 4-year-old or something. Apart from that, was the moment you sort of. So we went out to the pub. So I'd never obviously worked with you before, but your stage persona was very much boozy and pissed.
Well, because there was Dwayne Bishop from Raw Sex, who was very much a dishevelled alcoholic,
and Dr Martin Scrote.
And Dr Martin Scrote that liked to drink.
Yes, exactly. So I thought maybe he's like Dean Martin, because I've heard that Dean Martin used to in fact act being pissed on stage. So we went out, and I remember I read the article, and I don't want to correct your detail, but it was 8 pints of export lager.
Oh, right.
Half a bottle of scotch.
Yeah.
And 2 large double tequilas slammed at the bar.
No, there's got to be.
You were fucked. I mean, it was it was spectacular.
Right. Oh, so right. Well, this is good because you've reminded me. So I was genuinely off my face.
I think so. I think maybe you were dialing it up. Yes, exactly. It was alarming. We didn't know what would happen.
No.
And the donkey came in. It couldn't get a grip on the shiny floor.
It was slipping and sliding all over the place.
Was hilarious.
I think it probably shat everywhere and pissed.
Yeah.
But this poor woman. I mean,
it was her worst day.
It must have been. And we just, without thinking, just completely inflicted it on her.
Yeah, and on Dalston itself, which is, and Dalston's much more sheesh, still quite deprived, but in those days it was a very deprived area.
It was. It was hand to mouth, very much.
Could have got shot.
Yes.
And my other key memory of it is that we were in the office. I'd written it, the photographer, Lawrence Watson, great rock and roll photographer, done the pictures.
Right.
And we were trying to get a headline. And the picture editor, Robbie Martin, Scottish Robbie, who we've all kind of lost contact with until very recently, he just shouted across the office for the headline, "A fray in a manger." I'm like, stroke of genius. Yes. Absolutely brilliant.
That's it. Perfect.
So anyway, the drinking persona, exactly, because we knew you at that age from Raw Sex, particularly with Jennifer Saunders and Dawn
French Saunders, their band.
Yes.
Yeah, their musical accompaniment.
Which was hilarious. I mean, it just used to make me cry with laughter.
It was good fun. It was something that came around just very, very naturally. Simon Brint was keyboards, I was drums. Simon and I initially we did all the music for anything that the comic strip players were going to sing or do live on stage at the Boulevard Theatre, the Raymond Review Bar in Soho. The nude review bar had a theatre above the Naked Ladies, which was where the comic strip did Friday and Saturday, 2 shows a night.
And this would be late 80s, when alternative comedy was in its infancy, right?
Yeah.
First starting.
Alexei Sayle was the compere. Rick and Aid were 20th Century Coyote. Dawn and Jennifer, French and Saunders. Nigel Planer and Peter Richardson were the Outer Limits. Arnold Brown was Arnold Brown. And various guests Chris Lynham would turn up now and again. And I think Robin Williams.
Not Robbie Williams. He was 2.
Yeah. We didn't want any singing. No, Robin Williams turned up and did a stint.
Barry Humphries, I think.
Barry Humphries, it was like people got wind of it, the people in the business, and they thought, I want to be part of that,
Because it's an amazing period because, people who come on, most of the guests who come on have been people I've known from the 90s. So talked about how amazing the 90s was. And in the 80s, being a little bit younger, I was living in a squat in Hackney and nothing really very exciting was happening. Yeah. But you and Keith Allen have both talked about late 80s in Soho.
Yeah.
Just was amazing.
Oh, it was
how did you fall in with such that group of people? It was the comedy scene was there in one room.
I fell in with it because I was a jazz drummer. I was a muso, and the Boulevard Theatre at the Raymond Review Bar, where the comic strip was on, needed a drummer. They had a bass player and a keyboard player. Rod Melvin used to be in Kilburn and the High Roads. With Ian Dury, wrote What a Waste. He played keyboards. He now is the regular keyboard player at the Groucho Club, where he has been for about 35 years. we were the trio that accompanied every act, every double act had a song. So we just accompanied them. So that was my entry. I knew Simon Brint. I got in, they recruited me as a drummer. And before you know it, we're just all hanging out together. So we go on tour, and that throws us all together even more.
Which must have been incredible, being on tour with
unbelievable.
That bunch of people.
And while we were on tour, I think I'm right in thinking this. While we were on tour, Rik Mayall and his then girlfriend, Lisa Mayer, and I were coming back off the tour homeless. So the three of us rented a house just off of Liverpool Road in Ellington Street, it was. So I lived with Rik for 18 months when they started writing The Young Ones.
Which must have been very quiet. And
very quiet, mild-mannered.
Nothing going on at all.
So the craziness really, really kicked in then.
So it totally was a right time, right place thing, because I've been reading, obviously, your book, which is brilliant.
Thank you.
What the Fuck Did I Do Last Night?
Yes.
Very funny, and subtitled The Memoirs of an Accidental Comedian.
Yeah.
And it kind of is true. You were a jazz musician.
But that's all I wanted to do, play jazz.
In that room, and then comedy started, modern comedy started in that room, and you went, I'm with this lot.
Yeah. But I sort of got drawn into it, It wasn't a career move.
Yeah.
Because all I wanted to do when I was 16, secondary school in Hillingdon, Middlesex, all I wanted to do was play the drums. By the time I was 17 and a half, I was playing the drums. In London, at various pubs, jazz gigs, trios, quartets, restaurants. Back then, places like Langan's Brasserie.
Oh, yeah.
In Stratton Street.
Peter Langan, is that his
Langan,
name? Yes, yeah. Famous.
Places like that could stay open till midnight if they had live music. So it was a very quiet, cool, piano, bass and drums meant that everyone could drink till 12.
Funny.
It was so we got a lot of gigs like that. I got a lot of gigs.
Because you were known as a quiet drummer.
I was London's quietest drummer.
It's a great tagline. But you must also been, because you're a very funny man, right? You're one of those people, just looking at you now, your face makes me laugh. So it would have been a waste if you hadn't got into comedy.
Yeah, well, the way I drifted into it was I was hanging out with Rik. Rik and I would go to the pub every day, every night. And Paul Jackson, who produced and directed The Young Ones, used to come with us every now and again. And one day he phoned and said, Rowland, can you come and do the warm-up for Ruby Wax's new chat show? Ruby Wax, a very famous back then and still, a comedy actress and psychotherapist, I think now.
She is now, yeah.
So he said, will you come and do the warm-up?
You mean the comedy warm-up rather than a drumming warm-up?
Yeah. Will you come and talk to the audience warm the audience up before Ruby comes on? I said, but Paul, I'm a jazz drummer. What are you talking about? He said, I know, but you make us laugh down the pub.
Brilliant.
That was it. He said, you make us laugh down the pub. And, oh, God, it was...
Was it terrifying at first?
It was. I had no material. I wasn't a comedian. I was funny, pissed in the pub, but, in front of 300 people waiting to see Ruby Wax.
What did you do the first time? Do you remember the first couple of times?
I just wandered about taking the piss out of people,
That'll work.
Yeah. And then I used to have a bunch of £5 notes and buy jokes off of people.
Good idea.
Jokes off of people in the audience. Anybody got a joke? I'll give you £5. Whisper it to me.
Those days are £5.
Yeah, I know, a lot of money.
Big money, right?
Yeah. So I did that, and somebody in the audience saw me doing that, and she was the person that was producing Night Network. Now, I don't know if you remember that on ITV.
Yes, I do.
Night Network, sort of pretty much 12 till 6 in the morning.
Which was a huge thing, because TV at that time, like the pubs, just shut.
Yeah. The dot happened at about 11:30.
Yeah.
And then, boom, Night Network was launched. Yeah. And she invited me onto that. She said, can you come and do something on this TV show? I said, well, I am a jazz drummer, but I'll give it, I'll come up with something. And I came up with a video version of Desert Island Discs, called The Bunker Show. Which 8 vids are you going to take with you when the siren goes off and you've got to go down the bunker for 3 years? God. What 8 vids are you going to live with for 3 years?
See, I'll have only seen that pissed after the pub shuts.
Yeah,
still
most people
in
did.
the mists of the memory. Yes, of course, the Bunker Show.
Yeah. So
was this live?
No, it was recorded, thankfully.
Thank God.
During the day, and went out at night. All the material was, because it was edited together, so it just flowed perfectly. Right. But I had Mel Brooks on.
Oh wow!
I had what's his face?
That fella?
That one.
Him. I love his work.
No. Q7. What's his name?
Q7?
Yeah.
Spike Milligan?
Spike Milligan.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The God, the Lord.
Well, you say that.
I do.
He was a bit weird.
Well, he was a tortured genius.
He said he'd do it for a nice bottle of wine. So we bought a bottle of wine that cost £16. That's back in...
16?
Back then, that's probably about 50 quid now.
Yeah.
But he was happy with that.
Was he not... Because I think he was because he's a bit of a manic depressive sort of guy, isn't he? Was he not on the up?
He was... I don't know what direction we caught him going.
Right.
He had to do the Chinese joke. This chicken's rubbery, and yes, it is very nice, isn't it?
So pre-alternative comedy, yes, old school.
So, but he was weird. But right. Who was
Mel Brooks? How was he?
He was lovely. He didn't know that I was a drummer. Because Mel's was a big drummer in his day.
Oh, okay.
So we were swapping solos on the arms of these garden deck chairs that we were sitting in. Although I made the ultimate cardinal sin. I arrived after he did. He turned up on the show because I was getting a plane from bloody Newcastle with Jools and Paulie Yates, because I used to help Jools with the Tube show.
You just did everything, didn't you? I mean, this is the thing that's reading your book. It's mad.
Yeah.
It's like you've never said no to anything, right?
No.
But you've also been in the right room at the right time and just the right guy. You know, it's like, who should we get? Oh, wait, what are you doing, Rowland? Yeah. I mean, just everything. All those seminal TV shows.
But every juncture, I did preface, before we committed it to doing it, I said, look, I'll give this a go, but, just to warn you, I am a jazz drummer. Quietest one in London.
So at some point, the drumming just gradually fell away. Right? I mean, you always kept it up a bit.
No, I tell you what happened. This coincided almost perfectly. Paul Jackson asked me to do Don't Miss Wax, the warm-up. I started doing that. Then a drummer friend of mine, who was in the pit at the Wyndham Theatre in the West End doing The Secret Diary of Adrian Mole, the musical.
Yeah.
He said he wants to go on holiday for 2 weeks. Could you come in and dep? I said, oh, yeah, all right. It's quite a daunting thing because you just sent 23 songs.
Right.
Manuscript and tapes, and you've got to learn
proper job.
All these songs. And there's no rehearsal. So he's going to finish one day, and the next day you're in. Now, the deal was in the pit of a very big theatre was a massive, great big drum kit, his kit, in the centre, facing the audience. So you're staring at the circle and everything. You can't really see the stalls. To my left is the musical director, who's got about 3 keyboards and a big baffle board, so the sound from the drums it doesn't spread too much. And there's a little square hole in this perspex that I sit down, open the thing, and this finger comes through and just goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Every song started with a 4 or 8 bar drum solo, so these 28 kids could run around and get in position, ready to start singing.
Right.
And this is how it went on. I don't think I ever met the guy who was playing the keyboards. To my right was the guitarist. It was just the 3 of us. Just the 3 of us. He was sat there. He had about 12 different bass guitar, acoustic, whatever, electric, and all different types of banjo. And he would sit there reading a book. And he would read the book, read the book, read it without, lift a guitar, put it on his lap, put the book down, bomb. And then at the last chord of the song, it'd still be ringing when he put it back on the stand, picked the book up, and kept going.
What a pro.
Yeah, and he did that every show.
Well, probably a very lucrative gig for you, right? I'd imagine. West End theatres play well, I'd imagine.
Well, they play okay. But my first gig I did, we came in half an hour early. The kids loved it because I got home early. But because I was just shitting me pants, everything was too
you mean the show
fast.
finished half an hour early because you were playing so fast?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But the kids loved it. They said, can't we do this all the time? And I think the theatre had their doubts about that. So I was shitting myself for the first 2, maybe 3 gigs.
Right.
After that, we were given a mug that had some tea in it, and it had Adrian Mole written on it because the audience could see us. I didn't have tea.
You surprised me.
I was getting through a litre Screw-Top Suave white wine a night.
Nothing but the best.
Yeah. And it was just, this mug was just full of wine, and I was just drinking it, and I'd see the fucking finger come through. It's like, yeah, all right. And I did this for 2 weeks. It rinsed out all the enthusiasm I had for drumming.
Wow.
I just did not want to go near. I had to play exactly the same thing every night, 2 matinees a week, and it was just, it was soul
to a jazz drummer. It must be a living hell.
Yeah. I was a loose, quartet, trio, quintet, but I just, it was horrible, and it rinsed out all of my enthusiasm for drumming that I'd sort of started when I was 16, 17, because all I wanted to do was be a drummer.
But you still did do some.
Well,
you supported Jools Holland, for instance, right?
No, I stepped in when Gilson was in a car crash. Gilson Lavis, sadly no longer with us. He was Jools' drummer. He was the drummer in Squeeze, and Gilson and Jools went on to do the Rhythm and Blues Orchestra, which was just a trio. Initially, it was piano, bass, and drums. Jools on piano, Gilson on drums, and Mark, forgotten his name, on bass. And then Gilson is involved in a massive car crash that Jools is sitting in the back seat of. Gilson's sitting in the front seat of. Paul someone is driving, the manager. His face, there's a car, these old people, they're on the M5. We would all done a gig down in Portsmouth, and there's a Morris Minor coming towards us, coming towards them. Yeah. These old people had turned on the wrong, and there was a head-on collision at 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour. And Paul, the manager's face was impaled in the steering wheel.
Jesus.
Gilson's shoulder and elbow and everything's all smashed up. Jools is sitting in the back with his girlfriend, Christabel. She breaks both her legs.
Oh, my God.
In this crash. And Jools opens the door, gets up and walks out and sits on the grass verge, completely unharmed.
Wow, the luck of the pianist.
Yes.
Wow.
So that meant Gilson was out of commission for this piano, bass and drums tour that Jools was doing. And he asked me if I'd play. And I said, yeah, okay, but I must warn you, I am a jazz drummer. This time it worked.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Like a lot of us who lived through the 90s, I tried to keep my drinking in check. I've had my sober stretches and my less sober ones. One thing that helps is alcohol-free beer. But let's be honest, if there's one thing wrong with alcohol-free beer, there's no buzz. That's where On Beer comes in. It's a non-alcoholic beer packed with botanicals and herbs designed to give you what the makers call a feel-good lift. They say a bottle or two feels like you're just tucking into your second pint, and in my experience, they're not far wrong. I was drinking On Beer before they sponsored my podcast. In fact, I was the one who approached them. So if you want to try something new that gives you a bit of a buzz, take On Beer out for a spin and use this discount code, Martin15, to get a buzzing 15% off. Stay sober, and if you can't stay sober, stay buzzy.
So we toured for the whole of summer. And that's how we got quite thick. And then that finished. Gilson got better. He came back. Then about 12, 15 years later, Gilson has a heart attack on a Saturday. Jools rings me Sunday morning. Can you come and play again? And I was thinking, oh, fuck. Yeah, okay. This time it's not a trio. It's an 18-piece jazz orchestra. So, learn the parts Sunday morning, and then back on it. So that's my association with working with Jools.
So the drumming didn't go away forever, but the comedy definitely took over.
Yeah, and I thought I wasn't doing any other drumming, so that was the other thing. I'd lost all my chops. You know, you do a 2-hour gig or hour and a half gig, and after about 3 numbers, I could barely. It was a nightmare, but I got into it, and I toured with him for 18 months, and so I was back drumming. But after that, the telly really took off.
Because there was a period when it was just seemed to be. I mean, you mentioned Ruby Wax.
Yeah,
I looked on YouTube and I was really surprised because when you get to a certain age, your life compresses, doesn't it? And Jonathan Ross, The Last Resort, where you were Dr Martin Scrote, the boozy doctor with the black eye. That was 1988. I could have sworn that would have been like 10 years later than that.
Right.
I could. It was amazing. But you were on that. It was the young ones you were in, as you've just said.
But on the back of Jonathan's show, is it Seamus Cassidy, the commissioning editor on Channel 4?
Right.
He said, Rowland, the Scrote character's going down really well. Do you want to, we're going to offer you your own series. And I just mentioned, I am a jazz drummer. And he said, no, so go away and write something. And I went away with this friend of mine, Ian Brown, who worked on Jonathan's show doing the intro speech, the monologues. And we realised that I'm not an actor, so I can't just play different characters. So what we did, we went to a restaurant in Soho. What was that? It's the thing that sold meat, and it was really dense, and loads of MPs used to go there.
I don't know. Meat, not St. John. It was long before.
No. It was long before. It was like a Russian.
I do know what you mean. Up on the right, going up Dean Street, is it? Yeah.
It was. But
Labour MPs used to.
Yeah.
Gay Hussar.
Yes.
Say.
Well done.
Thank you.
We got there. So we went to the Gay Hussar.
Yeah.
We had a very meaty meal.
Yeah.
Lots of red wine. Getting pissed. Chucking ideas about. Wrote them down on a napkin, a really thick linen napkin, because there was no paper. Yeah. And we got all giggly and excited about it. Went straight from there to the Sunset Strip Club. Paid £12 downstairs. I'm there with this white napkin, giggling away. Strippers, taking their clothes off.
This is the strip club just a couple of doors up from the Groucho Club.
Yes.
I've heard.
Yes. So we're down there. I'm looking at that. Looking at the woman slowly taking her clothes off, trying to attract attention. I've got my hands underneath this white linen the cloth, and this woman accused me of wanking. When I said,
in
no,
a strip club.
Yeah, it's the ideas for this comedy show, madam. But she wasn't having it.
No.
Anyway, we went back to Seamus and we said, Seamus, look, I can't act to save my life. I am a jazz drummer. Yeah. So what I've done is we've come up with an idea where I'll play 6 identical brothers. So we've got Martin Scrote, there was Terry Scrote, the photographer, there was Tarquin Shirley Stansted Scrote, the MP, there's 6 of them anyway. And we did it as a spoof documentary, one of those, it's like a 7-Up thing. That, when they were 18, these 6 brothers all went their separate way. We catch up with them 20 years later to find out, how they're getting on.
Excellent.
That way, I could play one character.
So we used basically the same, dare I say, pissed character.
Yeah.
Some more or less variations of.
Variations of. But it just meant that I didn't have to try and be. Although, having said that, I was a farmer, I was a boxer, I was a compulsive grass, I was a tramp, I was a doctor. So,
you're doing this because you have acted as well, haven't you, at times? There have been...
I think everyone can act.
Do you?
It's just whether they do it well or not.
It's like everyone can juggle, but do they drop the balls or not?
Yes.
Okay.
So that show was, I think, the best thing I've ever done.
So where were we in that? Early 90s?
Yeah.
Right.
Must be, yeah. So that happened, and again, it was like I was so happy with it. It was like, I've done it now.
Right.
Move on. I can't really top that.
I'm familiar with that thing. It's a funny thing, isn't it? Because your career is very do this, do that, do the other, do that. And some people are more like that. Some people are like, right, I'm going to be an actor.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it forever until I'm incredibly famous.
Yeah.
And some people have that kind of, I've done that. I've proved that.
Yeah.
Right.
I've
Now,
done it.
what else have you got?
Well, the thing is, you see, it goes back to the drumming. All I ever wanted to do was play the drum. When I was a drummer, at one point I had to get a passport to go to Iceland to do Dr. Scrote, to Ronnie the Compulsive Grass. It gets relocated. I found my passport 15 years out of date. I'd spent 18 years in London, completely happy.
Wow.
Drumming. No wish to go abroad, a holiday, or anything.
Because I was going to say, because it's been a real joy to read your book over the last week. It's been the best fun I've had reading a book for a long time. And that's a really striking thing because it's so vivid that you were living in this sort of, not even a square mile.
No.
Square quarter of a mile.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, you're saying West End theatres up to Ronnie Scott's, round the West End.
Yeah, Piccadilly.
You just portray that area so well. Of course, then the Groucho Club that you became a famous habitué.
That's it, yes.
And is it true you won a lifetime membership?
Yeah, on a poker game.
In a poker game, fantastic.
Yeah.
So Keith Allen got given his for going to prison.
Yeah.
And you won yours in poker.
I won 400 quid off of, what was his name? Oh, fuck, it will come to me. I won 400 quid off the manager.
And also, I mean, you're famous for, was it something involving a bicycle in the Groucho?
Oh, yeah. What used to happen, there was, every night you used to have lock-ins. And what the waiting staff used to do was do little sort of time trial things, cycling their bikes round the restaurant and out and see how quickly they could do it. And I was looking at this, I was at the bar during the lock-in and thinking, this is a bit lame, isn't it, guys?
Uh-oh.
I said, well, it's a mountain bike. We need a mountain. Yeah. So I said, let's do it. Let's start at the top of that stairs.
Oh,
quite a big
staircase.
Yes, quite a big staircase. I said, let's start up there. I'll go first. Went up, walked the bike up, got on it, ran down, pressed the wrong brake, got to the bottom, flying over the handlebars. The bar stools broke a lot of the momentum of me going along. Carpet burns all down one side, my ear and everything. Broke a bone in my hand. Completely wrote the bike off. It was I blamed the Pisco Sours. I'd had 3 Pisco Sours in about an hour, and I've an idea, Your Honour, they went to my head.
Pisco Sours came into London like crack came into New York, didn't they? Sometime in the 90s.
The Peruvian drink.
It was Stephen Fry, wasn't he?
Yes.
Didn't he bring them back from Peru? And everyone started playing Perudo.
Yes.
And drinking Pisco Sours.
Yes, exactly.
Which is like a lethal tequila-y type thing.
Yeah. With egg white in it or something. Yes. It's
one of those deceptive ones that makes you very drunk.
Exactly. So that's what happened. Yeah. I broke a bloody bone in my hand. The next week I was supposed to be drumming with Jools and the big band. Of course, phoned him. I've broken my bone. Can't play. Had to get Gilson out of early sort of retirement after his heart attack. So he had to play very gently. Oh, God. It was, and at the end of the gig, packing up, his kit gets nicked.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's just like, how can it go more wrong?
So this is like the Jools Holland big mini orchestra, whatever it was called. A little bit like Spinal Tap here. I was going to say, what is it with drummers? Because there's Keith Moon, obviously legendary. Yeah. John Bonham from Led Zeppelin. He was riding motorbikes down hotel corridors and killing himself. And
only because I think he's had a drink.
Yeah. Why do drummers have the drink?
They have there's a lot of hanging about.
Right.
And they're at the back.
It's thirsty work if you're at the back. Because you can.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you have a drink because you can. And after a while, when you've become a drummer, you don't rehearse. So there's long periods,
And you just, I'm not in any way denigrating, but you're just hitting shit.
Yes.
I mean, you are bashing stuff quite hard.
I'm not writing songs. I'm not, all that.
No sensitive solos. No. Yeah.
So, drummers do that because I think it's you have to be quite physical to do it. And so when you're not physically doing physical stuff on the drums, you do physical stuff on bicycles downstairs.
Yeah. You're sort of winding yourself up for the performance. And then afterwards, you can't turn off that energy, can you?
Exactly.
And the boozing thing, because like I say, when I first met you, I thought, maybe it's all a complete act. And I know you said in the book, so Martin Scrote, you did actually drink water rather than vodka.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other acts, you were actually genuinely pissed off.
Yeah.
A bit pissed on stage.
A lot of The Last Resort, pretty much all The Last Resort.
Really?
Yeah.
Became your thing. You know?
Yeah, but that was because Steve Naive, keyboard player with Elvis Costello, was the band. He was the house band in The Last Resort, and the house band, there's 4 of them, used to boil up rice wine in their dressing room.
You mean like make it like a poutine, like a
yeah.
Really?
Yes, and we drink that, and
Did they not have an off license nearby or something?
Well, no, they'd buy the rice wine that you heat up, sake.
Oh, sake, right? Yeah, okay, yeah, lovely. Oh, lovely. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, it's lovely, but it just as soon as you drink it, boom, because it's hot, it goes straight to your head. So we were most of The Last Resort was performed, the wrong side of a bottle of sake.
But it became your thing, right? People would expect Rowland Rivron's on.
Yeah.
If he's sober, that just would be disappointing, I suppose.
Exactly.
Do you still drink now?
Yes.
with enthusiasm.
Well,
that's good to know, because so many people don't. Yes.
I mean, back in the day,
yes.
In fact, there was a drink named after me at the Groucho Club.
What's that?
Called the Rivron, which was a large what's it? Vodka and something with all the fruit. They have it at Wimbledon.
Prims.
There, see, I'm trying to shed these names.
It doesn't do anything for the memory. Pims and vodka.
So it was a large Pims.
Yeah. With
a stolly top.
Nice.
And 3 cubes of ice. And back then it was £9.
Yeah.
So it's probably about 50 quid now. And it was an official, you could ask for it, but bomb, it's 1 Rivron, please.
It was just that era. I remember interviewing Martin Clunes and Neil Morrissey, who were very refreshed one afternoon.
Right.
And they said, you must have an Aylesbury. I'm like, what's an Aylesbury? An Aylesbury was a large port with a large brandy in it. It was about 18 quid.
Yeah.
3 of those.
Yeah.
I mean, you were everyone's best friend.
Exactly.
That. I mean, there was quite something.
Yeah.
It was a period of heavy drinking.
Heavy drinking, heavy giggling.
Yes. Good point.
Yeah.
Because now we're also, it's not very healthy.
Yeah.
Did we have fun?
I was the happiest.
Can you remember?
Yeah. I was the happiest drunk.
Yeah.
I really was. As soon as I'd got onto the plateau, I had the constitution of an ox. I could just keep drinking, but it got more giggly and more, let's have fun.
Yeah.
Not sort of, oh God, my life's terrible.
No, that's always been my experience. It's just complete fun.
Yeah.
The only downer to it, if no one had discovered that it wasn't amazing for your physical health, I'd be pissed all day, every day. I mean, why not?
Yes, exactly.
And how do you do it now? Because I remember at one point in the book you say at that point you said I was on a good day be putting away 4 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that's quite chunky. But there again, I'm no one to judge. I'm not to judge. But where would you put yourself now on the?
I live opposite a lovely pub. So every evening, 6:30, I'll go there. I'll have 1, maybe 1.5 pints.
That's good.
Yeah. And then I'll come back and have maybe a can of lager, but then just 2 glasses of red wine with a meal.
Quite restrained.
Yes.
Yeah. And you look in rude health.
Well, exactly. I think it's done me good.
Yeah.
Because I can remember, I did lapse about 6 or 8 months ago. It was one Sunday. There was a big dinner thing going on. Mon had invited all these people, and it was a sort of garden party thing. And so you start drinking at about 11, and then you're still drinking at about 7:30 in the evening when you're ordering a Chinese takeaway. So I put away 3 bottles just in that afternoon, and I didn't feel great the next day, but I could still do it.
Yes.
But I don't want to.
Yes, I suppose that's where it stops being a bit less fun. Well, that was it for me. When everyone says that. When the hangovers become 3-day hangovers, then you start thinking.
And also, suddenly I was finding myself, more and more drinking alone. Because the heyday of the Groucho Club, doing all the comedy store and all that, there's loads of other people doing it, so you're just one of a crew of people drinking.
When would you put that period? I mean, I would have said sort of 88 to 98, something like that, roughly, right?
Yeah,
it was that was the golden era.
Because I mean, it started at the Zanzibar Club in Great Queen Street.
Yes,
I was drinking really religiously there, and then Tony McIntosh, who ran that, bought the Groucho. So we all sort of decamped to the Groucho Club. And then it was a very loose thing. Jeffrey Bernard was a regular there. I remember often in the afternoons, I'd sit there with him in these old knackered velvet couches. And it was when he'd had one of his legs chopped off, and he was sitting there and we were drinking and just laughing. And then he said, "Oh, fuck." And I said, "What?" He said, "I've pissed myself." And it's like, and he didn't make any attempt to move. So it was like, "Oh, dear Jeff, what we'll do? Right, get his wheelchair, get him into the wheelchair, time for home." This was about 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, he started early, didn't he?
Yeah, he started about 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he'd write his column for the
Spectator?
No, the horse racing mag.
Yeah, Racing Post.
Racing Post or whatever. Write that, and then he's like, right, the day's me own. And he'd go in and we'd drink and he'd piss. Anyway, we got him in the chair, wheeled him home because he lived in the flats not far off Berwick Street. Went back, very carefully took the sodden velvet second-hand sofa out onto the fire escape to air.
Nice.
And we thought, there you go, that's all right. We've done that, job done. Then we get a call, the Groucho gets a call from Jeff saying, my diary, I think, and my address book has fallen down the side of the sofa. And it's like...
Who's volunteering?
Who's volunteering to go and get that?
So someone's put their hand.
Yeah. You know those gloves you can buy that go right up beyond your elbow? I think they went and got a pair of them.
To put up a cow's bottom, yes.
Yeah. I went and got a pair of them.
James Brown and I actually went to see, when he was in hospital for the last time,
right,
he had his other leg off.
Yeah.
And we went to see him in hospital, which is a brilliant idea, James. We'd been up all night and said, let's go and see Jeffrey Bernard. He had no idea who we were, but he was very happy to have some people turn up with a bottle of wine, chatted away for us. Just a brilliant, just so funny. And he was an institute at the Groucho. You said by about 11, he'd be there at the bar every day. And the Groucho every day, you could go in, there would be someone to have a laugh with.
Yeah,
any time of day.
That's when it was like the young artists and all that. Yes. Damien Hirst and what's his name?
Alex James.
Alex James was there.
Keith,
there was,
of course.
Paul. No. Oh God! There was this other artist who did the limbless woman on the plinth.
Oh, Paul, Quinn.
Mark Quinn.
Mark Quinn. Yes.
I mean, he and I used to sit a very, very regular afternoons drinking, coming up with alternative names for Perrier and things like that. And then one day, do you want to go to Paris? I've got an exhibition on.
Why not?
And this was about 1:30 too. So I said, yeah. Funny enough, I had my passport with me. So he said, we just got to go home. I'm just going to change my shoes. He lived in Waterloo. Got a cab to Waterloo, changed his shoes stupidly for these brogues, no socks. Got back in the cab, went straight to Heathrow Airport, got on a plane. Back then, it was a plane that if you in the last two rows, you could smoke.
Oh, those were the days.
So he's in the back. I'm in the back with him. We'd run down all these corridors to get the plane. His feet were bleeding. He's on the fags. We're all completely pissed. And then we get to Paris and we're there for, I think, between 2 to 5 days. I don't know.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Did you phone home at any point?
No.
No. Darling, I mean, of course, talking of which, your wife, Monica, who I remember from the Groucho Club, worked at the Groucho Club.
She worked as a receptionist.
You were that lazy.
Yes.
You even got your wife there.
Now, hear this. My wife doesn't like me saying this, but I've got two older brothers, Richard and Raymond.
Right.
All our names start with R, end with D, got 7 letters. I think my parents were white witches. But anyway... So I've got an elder brother, 3 years older than me, who's a doctor, and then another brother, 6 years older than me, who's a teacher. Now, the teacher was the first one to leave home. He went to teacher training college, met his wife at college, who was another teacher.
Right.
So the two teachers, they marry. My other brother, Raymond, was the first person to go to med school from a secondary comprehensive school. He got in after 3 years, took a year out to teach anatomy. He's that annoyingly. He met his wife, a fellow doctor, while he was at med school. So we've got 2 teachers, 2 doctors. They met each other there. I met my wife at a gentleman's drinking club.
What that says about Monica, I don't know. That's fine.
But we're
been
blissfully happy.
But this was like 1990. Won't put you on the spot.
No, you can do though, because we had to get married because we were having our first child, Dan, who I think is 32 now.
There you go. So early 90s again. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, and we had to get married because I was doing Virgin destination guides on Virgin in-flights. So when you were going to Florida, there'd be a half-hour film saying, me going, hi, when you come, I'll just give you a few tips. When you go, if you've got hiring a car, this is how you fill it up. And all
what
that.
a great gig. I remember getting on Virgin flights because, we used to get tickets chucked at us. You get in upper class and they'd be like, okay, it's Rowland on the telly.
Yeah, it was amazing. But because we had a months old baby, and I went twice a year for 2 weeks. They don't like it if you turn up in America, 2 adults with 2 different surnames.
Oh, that's very conservative, isn't it?
Yeah.
Blimey.
So
you got married just for that reason?
Just before.
She probably doesn't like you saying that either, does she?
No, it was lovely. We got married in Rosebery Road at the, Finsbury Town Hall.
Lovely.
Went to the Quality Chop House afterwards for a thing, then to the Grouch.
Quiet evening?
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
Yeah. It was lovely.
Listen, we're racing through the time. It's fabulous to talk to you. I've got to ask you, because we've touched on it, all these, just so many diverse gigs you've had, different things you've done. And one that, because it's someone that we both know, James Brown, reminded me of when I spoke to him yesterday. At some point, maybe late 90s, you and he both did a reality show up the Himalayas.
Gosh, yeah.
Tell me, what is it exactly? Detoxing thing?
Yeah, Celebrity Detox.
Oh, right, there you go.
That was the name of it.
Right.
At the top of the bloody Himalayas.
Brilliant.
Me, James,
Lisa Ianson?
Lisa Ianson, who was then on Radio 1, and Magenta Divine.
Right.
So a quirky combination of people.
Yeah.
We get to India. You must have been. It's horrible.
I love it.
It's,
you're one of them, are you?
Well,
because you're a square man. You're a Soho man, aren't you?
No one's got a broom in India. People sleeping under your bloody car. It's Anyway,
sounds
we
like
get
Soho.
there.
Yes.
Yeah, we get there in a jeep, meandering up the things.
Oh,
it's one of those sheer drop on that side, and just enough you just hope nobody's coming down. You're thinking it's got to be a one-way road.
Yeah, but the standard of driving is so high. Surely.
But we were screaming. Me and James were just were uncontrollable. Girls were just quietly sort of chatting to each other. Anyway, we got there, and yes, we did this detox. We were eating, pulses and all that, doing yoga all day. No booze. No booze.
But drinking But
drinking our own urine.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's part of it.
Right.
Got to be. Eating food silently in the evening with the same hand because you wiped your ass with the other hand. It was one of those sort of quite religious things. When we flew out to India, I drank probably 3 bottles of wine on the plane. Got there, we were there 11 days. Didn't drink, didn't touch a drop. The Avivic cleansing thing that these Buddhist elders did.
Ayurvedic.
Sorry,
yeah. That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, I confuse it. They cleansed us of everything in our bodies. They said, we're going to take your body back to a blank sheet. You're going to start again.
Wow.
And they actually did. I in 11 days lost 2 stone, 3 stone, just completely
Big
shat
job
it out.
for them, I mean to say.
And it was eyes, just bright white eyes now. I mean, James was off the pop anyway, so he was. It didn't. There wasn't a noticeable effect.
Yeah.
But for me, we came down off the mountain to the hotel back in India, half a glass of wine, completely pissed.
Brilliant.
Couldn't talk.
Cheap date. Fantastic.
Wow, it was unbelievable.
So it really worked.
Yeah.
And he told me something, I can't remember the details, but Lisa Ianson, Radio 1 DJ, started off giving it the full spiritual West London vibe.
Yeah.
And in fact turned out to be a little bit There was something about the cleaning the loos or something.
Oh, yeah, everyone had to do, she wasn't happy.
And you had to pull lots out of the bag.
Yeah, and at the airport she bought 800 fags and smuggled them in, It was that sort of a thing.
He told me that to decide what chores you did each day, you pulled the thing out of the bag. So there's washing the vegetables, washing up plates, something like, or cleaning out the loos. She got it 2 nights in a row.
Yeah. Because he fiddled it.
Well, then after you two then replaced everyone with clean the loos.
Yeah.
She absolutely lost it.
Yeah. Shit, bless her.
He said also, just before we finish, he did say, you told him the funniest story he'd ever heard on that trip, which was, I don't know what this is. He just said, make sure you ask Rowland about Ronnie Barker, a painting, Rik Mayall and the BBC.
That's half an hour. Yeah. It was the Christmas light tent show. The young ones had been invited. I was still living with Rick and Lisa. Lisa put me as the +1. As soon as I got there, got me knob out, got some food dyed me knob, showed it to Val Dunican's wife. She giggled. Ronnie Barker got involved somehow. I turned all the paintings upside down, got me knob trapped in a lift, as the doors shut. Well, the 2 girls, Emma Freud and men behaving badly. What's her name?
Oh, God. Her
Lips.
Blonde one. Yeah, Lips. Yeah. Sorry, I've just got a very urgent call. Go away.
They were in the lift about to leave. And I said, girls, you're not going, are you? I haven't showed you my green knob. Got the knob out. And just as the doors were shutting, I was holding it there. And you could hear as the lift went down, the pair of them screaming because I was going, ah! And they thought, and I got banned from the BBC. As a result,
just for that,
as a result of various other antics, when we did French and Saunders, the then head of comedy was coming around. What was his name? It was the old school bloke. I can't remember. Coming around, I had to go and hide in the dressing room because I wasn't really meant to be on BBC property.
So this is before cancel culture.
Yeah.
You were previously cancelled, not only for exposing your cock dyed green.
Yeah.
That seems very unfair.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
That seems like a great moment on which to end.
Yeah.
Mr. Rivron, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, well, thank
you so much.
No,
well, let's have you back because I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
Oh, yeah. I've got to tell you about the journey in the Jeep back from the Himalayan mountains. That's 20 minutes.
We'll do a special edition. Good to see you.
And you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Martin Deeson Unloaded. And don't forget to try On Beer, which is the only alcohol-free beer scientifically proven to give you a buzz. And it really does. I was drinking it before they started sponsoring the show. It's got all sorts of herbs in it. It's quite speedy. It's quite nice. Give it a try. Search On Beer online. Use the code Martin15. You get 15% off. I get to carry on doing this and meeting fabulous people like Rowland. See ya.